This is actually the Restaurant Coach Nation training. I don't know why I have my RCU Sunday training. This is the Restaurant Coach Nation Sunday training. So if you are here live, number one, hey, happy 4th of July. And I hope everyone out there is having fun, being safe. As always, every Sunday, I pop up on the Restaurant Coach Nation in the Facebook group to deliver what I like to call is my Sunday sermon. Some ideas and things to kind of get you set up for the week. Yes, and I want to say, hey, happy 4th to everyone out there watching. Hey, you know what? If you're here watching on the 4th of July, you do not have an average restaurant because you're here dedicated to making yourself better. And for that, I am extremely thankful and grateful for. So one of the things my attorney kind of recommended I do is when I do presentations, I have to kind of do a disclaimer. So this slide is for, for those things. I just want to say this following workshop is rated MA. Workshop you're about to attend contains explicit language, adult themes, a few bad jokes, and may not be suitable for restaurants that condone mediocrity. Viewer discretion is advised. To say you've been warned. You've been warned. This workshop is definitely for restaurants that want to take it to the next level, that want to be better. And we all know that it's getting tough out there, especially in this industry. Oh, I'm telling you. COVID was number one, like smack upside the face. And then we got through COVID. And now it seems like we're having a crunch trying to find people to work in our restaurants. But don't worry, it's going to all adjust and come back to normal. The one thing I want to say, and I talked to this with all my coaching clients this last week, is do not get drawn into that pay wage war. Do not be suckered into the pay wage war. Right now, it's an employee market. They're coming to people and saying, well, so-and-so down the street's offering me this much more than you are. What are you going to do? Don't get drawn into that. It's all going to balance out. And those restaurants that are actually paying a lot more now, they're going to have a hard time when all this stuff does kind of restabilize. And they're going to find out, oh my God, my payroll is now 40% and I don't know how to get it lower because I'm paying everyone way too much. We'll talk about this in another call, but one of the things that really helps is marketing your culture. You got to market why you're different. Why do people want to work? Why do people work with you? Why do they want to come to your restaurant? Same thing. You take the approach for marketing for your business, for guests. You want to take that same approach to marketing for people that you want to be your ideal employer, ideal team members. So make sure you are marketing effectively and efficiently, not only your food and your products, but also marketing your culture. So again, I always like to talk about the rules. Rule number one for all my workshops is always have some fun. Number two, please write down stuff. I mean, studies have shown that if you write stuff down in your own handwriting, you're actually around 70% more likely to retain it long term, which is the goal. I hate having people like, what was that thing he said? Just write them down. Write down. Especially if you see something that just kind of really just resonates with you, write it down. I always have a pen, always have paper right in front of me all the time. I'm always taking notes. All my clients will tell you, whenever I'm on a call, I'm always constantly just writing notes. And a lot of times I'm just writing like, keywords or trigger words, something that's going to remind me later that I can take that idea or that concept and I can actually go in a deep dive down to it. So rule number one, have fun. Number two, write things down. And number three, if you hear me say hashtag WTSD, if you've watched any of my sessions, you know what hashtag WTS mean. It means write this shit down. These are the gold nuggets. These are the stuff you came for. These are the little bits of information that are actually going to help you get the restaurant in the life that you desire. So what really holds restaurants back from success? What really, really holds restaurants back from success? There's a lot of things. And I'll tell you the secret. In fact, it's kind of like a formula. And here's the thing. It's not a complex formula. You look at this thing and you're like, yeah, that's about how I feel restaurant success is. It's that huge, complex equation. And I'm never going to get that because it's just overwhelming. It's not. It's not overwhelming at all. And what we're going to do is I'm going to break it down into two. You can call this sermon today, this Sunday sermon. Let's call it the alphabet sermon, because I got a couple letters I'm going to share with you today. First letter I'm going to share with you is what I call H. In fact, we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to call it H cubed. So H cubed. What does H cubed mean? It's a really good one, and it's things that a lot of restaurants don't think about. And what I mean, like, they don't think about it, is that you're all looking, remember, restaurant success is pretty easy. It's people, product, process. Most people focus on the product part. Very few focus on the process part. They have some process, but they haven't really dialed in. Some people don't have the people part dialed in. This part of this kind of formula goes to the people part, but it's all about you. This is all about you. So when I say H cubed, what am I talking about? I'm talking about three things. I'm talking about the head, the heart, and hands. Head, heart, and hands. How can we take this kind of real simple equation, and how can we make that work for our restaurant? Basically, I'm going to break it down into some fundamentals that I want you to really think about. And here's how it's going to go. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. When we say head, heart, and hand, what I'm really thinking about is, when I talk about the head, I'm talking about your ideas, your mindset, your inspiration, your passion, the things that get you up in the morning, your why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you go to work? Why do you get up every day and do the same thing over and over and over and over again? And then we talk about the heart. What I really want you to dial in on is your emotions. Your restaurant is basically, and hashtag write this shit down, your restaurant is basically a reflection of your emotions. You might not think that, but it's true. I've worked with thousands and thousands of restaurants. I can tell you right now, if you're having a bad day, if you're having a shitty day, trust me, your team's going to have a shitty day too. And sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes you walk in a great mood, someone on your team that maybe like be a key member, like a lead member or a team leader or a leader on your team, they're having a really shitty day. And what happens? You let that negativity get on you, and it infects you, takes over your mindset, takes over your emotions, and now you're in a bad mood too. And the last thing we talked about was, the last H was hands. That's action. So if you really look at this equation, what I want you to do is I want you to always be conscientious and aware of your mindset. And when I work with my clients, we talk about mindset. We talk about a thing called state. You know, you might say, Donald, what is state? Is that Arizona? No, Arizona is a state. When I'm talking about state, I'm talking about energy. Your mental, emotional, and physical energy is what I call state. You always have a level that your state is in at all times, all day long. And it's either low energy, low state, or you're a high state, or I call productive state. What you want to do is you always want to be aware. Where am I? And the simplest way to do this is, like right now, give yourself a score 1 to 10. 1 to 10, what kind of energy or state would you be at? 10 is like, I am like pinging off the walls. I am like so excited. I can't contain myself. That's a level 10. Where are you right now? If you're a level 1, you're pretty much dead. If you're a level 1, I got some good news and I got some bad news. If you're level 10, you're really pinging off the walls. Where would you be? The thing is, awareness precedes choice, choice precedes change. If you're aware of it, now you have a chance to have impact and change it. So when I talk about state, I want you to be aware. And this is like your exercise for the week, the upcoming week at work. Ask yourself throughout the day. And a lot of times I like to use my phone. I love, if you've read my little booklet, Outstanding Mindset, you know I'm a huge believer about nudges and using alarms on my phone to basically remind myself of certain key things, because I'm trying to create habits, new habits in myself. How do you get new habits? By repetition and repetition and repetition. So I use alarms on my phone to kind of nudge me all day long, to remind myself of what I'm grateful for, to remind myself of what energy I want to be at. I have some certain power words that go off during the day that remind me of what kind of person I want to be. Use your phone to help you create new habits. So throughout the day, I want you to set off a couple alarms, a couple nudges, just to say, what's my state? What, from 1 to 10, where am I? And wherever you are, be honest about it. The question you want to ask yourself is, what would it take me to get to the next level? What would I need to do to change my state to get to the next level? And then do it. Pretty simple, right? Restaurant success is not rocket science. It's people science. When you understand the people science, you're going to get the restaurant you want. So that first part right there, understanding your mental, emotional state. Number 2 is I want you to really pay attention to the emotions that you experience during the week. And what I want you to do, and this again is your homework for the week, keep a little journal, or you could do it on your phone too. Just use the Note app on your phone. But I want you to track the emotions that you experience throughout the week. And I want you to put a name to them. So if, and then what we're going to do is at the end of the week, I want you to look at your emotions and you're going to see there's a direct correlation between the emotions you experience on a regular basis and the kind of week you had. If you look back on your week and you basically looked at your emotions you experienced in the week and you had stress, anger, frustration, overwhelm, fear, doubt, uncertainty, pissed off, that's the kind of week you had. Wherever your emotional home is, that's the emotions you experience on a weekly basis the most, that's where you live. Plain and simple. If you look back on the week of your kind of emotional, I call it your emotional journal, and you look back at the end of the week and your emotions that you had during a typical week were joy, happy, proud, thankful, grateful, ecstatic, blessed. What kind of quality week do you think you're going to have? It's going to be a great week. But you got to be aware. Got to be aware of where are you living emotionally. So the biggest thing I want you to do this week, I want you to, number 1, give yourself nudges to remind myself, or basically just be aware of what your state is. What's your energy level from 1 to 10? If you don't like the word state, you can use energy. What's my energy level from 1 to 10? 10, I'm pinging off the walls. 1, I'm pretty much dead. What's my energy throughout the day? Aware. Be aware of it. Number 2, be aware of the emotions that you're experiencing or feeling throughout the week. And be honest. Whatever word you use to describe that emotion, use that word. If you are just, I'm just livid. I am enraged. Use those words. Tell me the words you use on a regular basis, because that, again, the words you use to describe an experience become your experience. So let me know. And you can email this to me at Donald@therestaurantcoach. If you have any comments and stuff like this, I'll put up my email right there. If you got questions for me, you can always email me at Donald@therestaurantcoach.com. And then the very last one is I want you to be aware of action. And we talk about the H cubed, the head, the heart, the hands. Action is the biggest thing. If you are not getting the results you want, you're either 2 things. You're either not taking enough action or taking the wrong action. Either one will not get you the restaurant in life you want. You're either not taking enough action or you're taking the wrong action. Now, it takes, again, awareness to understand I'm taking the wrong action. Most people go through life doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. And remember, we call that the definition of insanity. If you want new results, want better results, you have to take better actions or different actions. And you also have to take massive action. Most people dabble. They try a couple things. And I get this a lot from restaurants. Well, I tried that. Yeah? How many times? Oh, well, God, I tried it a lot. Well, what's a lot? Well, I did it I did it a couple times. And what happened? It didn't work. So what'd you do? I just stopped. Okay, that's not action. I'm just trying something. That's a try. That's not really taking massive action. You want to take massive action. You want to be committed to taking massive action. I study a thing called NLP. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's pretty simple. Neuro is the brain, linguistics is words, and the programming part is basically how does our words and our brain work together to form our programming or our behaviors. If you want to change your behavior, you change either the neurology, the way you think about it, or use the words you use, and it actually can help change your behavior, which changes the result, which changes basically your life. In NLP, we have these things called suppositions, and they're like basically, I would say they're like rules. One of the rules we have is that if you're trying something and it doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, you try something else. If that doesn't work, you try something else. If that doesn't work, you try something else. You keep going and keep till you get the result you want. You have within you boundless resources, tenacity, grit, stamina. You just got to learn how to push through. And the number one thing that stops people from taking a lot of action is definitely what we're going to talk about in this next slide. Most restaurants think it's just one thing that holds them back. And I'm going to go on a limb and tell you it's not just one thing. And the thing that most people think holds their restaurant back or holds them back, they think it's this. They think it's just fear itself. And I'll hear people, and I do this in my mastermind group. What do you think is holding them back? Oh, they're just afraid. The answers all tend to be based on fear. Well, fear is holding him back or her back, Or I hear from people, I just have a lot of fear. I fear that this new concept won't work. I'm afraid of when I open this place. I'm afraid of this. Am I going to make money? Am I going to make profit? I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to find people to work in my restaurant. Fear supposedly paralyzes people. And our next letter, of course, is going to be the F. I'm going to say it's F4. Everyone tends to think it's fear. And again, fear is supposed to paralyze us. Here's a question I want to ask you today. Is that really true? Is fear really the thing holding most people back? Is fear really the thing holding restaurants kind of stuck or held hostage? I think fear is. I think fear is really just poor management of your mind, poor management of your mindset. Now, hashtag write this down. Danger is real. Fear is a choice. Like if I'm out in the woods and a mountain lion, if I'm like, up on the trails here, I'm hiking and a mountain lion jumps out. All right, that's danger. Okay, that's real. Most fear is just, it's kind of conjured up in your head. And you've probably heard the acronym of FEAR. And it's one of the ones I love to use is fear is really nothing more than false emotions appearing real. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you understand fear and you understand what fear's purpose is just to protect you. It's not to hurt you. Fear's purpose is just to protect you. If we understand that, we actually get control of our fear. And there's basically, and the reason this slide says, the thing says F4, there's 4 primary fears. 4 primary fears every human being has. And if I understand these 4 fears and I actually put a name to them and I actually look at them and confront them, I actually get control of them. When I have control of them, fear doesn't control me anymore. Now fear can be used as a resource and it cannot be used against me. That's where I want you to get to. I want you to get to the part where fear is not working against you, but fear is working with you. Remember, danger is real. Fear is a choice. How these things play together all based on how you're using your mind. Again, most fear, I'm telling you right now, it's just poor management of your mindset. If you really want to break free to the next level, you got to understand about how you think about fear and how it might be unconsciously holding you back. So the first fear of ruin. I get this one a lot, especially from restaurant owners. I'm afraid this is going to ruin my life. It's going to ruin my restaurant. If my restaurant closes, it's just going to ruin everything. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of restaurants close every year, and it doesn't ruin people. Wolfgang Puck, who I worked with for 5 years as an executive chef, Wolf has been known to close down restaurant concepts that don't work. And it could easily be saying, oh, it's going to ruin him. If he closes that restaurant down, it's going to ruin him. Nope. We all bounce back from that stuff. Fear of ruin comes from that kind of that expectation that if everything falls apart, my life's going to be ruined. If you want better results, ask better questions. Here's the question I want you to ask yourself. Is that true? Would your life really be ruined forever? I remember I've heard like people say, and kids say it, if I get a bad grade, that's it. My life is over. If I get a bad grade on this report, my life is ruined. I'll never go to college. Or you're like me, open my first restaurant thinking, hey, I know how to cook pretty good. I'm going to open my restaurant. It's going to be a huge success. Open the door. It was not like that. Oh my God, no one showed up on my opening day. My life is ruined. No, it's never one incident, one circumstance, one challenge. Anytime you let this fear of ruin pop in your head, here's what I want you to ask yourself. Is this one thing really, really going to ruin the rest of my life? Because tomorrow you have some different choices. And then next week you have a choice. And then next month you have a choice. And so on and so on. You always have a choice how you're going to show up each day. Today, you get to choose your attitude. You get to choose your actions. And this goes back to that H3. I choose my energy, my state, my mindset. I choose the emotions I choose to live in. And I also choose the actions I take each day. But when fear takes over, it cripples your energy. You're like at a 2. It cripples your emotions. I'm worthless. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. And then those two things in conjunction ruin your ability to take action. You don't take any action. You're going to screw up in life. I hate to tell you that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to screw up in life. I've screwed up stuff. People can mess up. I made a lot of mistakes in my first restaurant. I got a business coach, and he really helped me see and got me some self-awareness about what the problem was with my restaurant. And it was all me. It was my mindset. I didn't ruin it. I got help. I got a coach. And I worked on building my mindset. It didn't ruin me. One of the things I like to do is, again, I'm a big believer in the power of words. I want you to think of, instead of ruining, I want you to think this is an opportunity to build. All the things you've messed up in life, I'm telling you right now, it's an opportunity to build your character, to build on your skills, to build on your capability to be resilient, to build on your capability to have fortitude and just keep going. When you switch your mindset from ruin to build, then you're honest. You're honoring the struggle when things don't go right. And trust me, I've learned more from my mistakes than I ever did from getting it right the first time. The best thing you can do is to hedge your bet and understand that, and to anticipate that there's going to be struggles, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be difficulties. Then think through the worst case scenario. But if you're obsessing on the worst case scenario, you're letting it paralyze you, and you're letting fear take control. The next fear, the fear of rejection. I get this one a lot, and I see it from people. If I do this or if I do that, people aren't going to like it. If I change my menu or I change my hours or I change this, change that, people are going to resist and they're not going to come to my restaurant. If I raise my menu prices, people are going to revolt and not come to my restaurant. They're going to reject me. That's basically what a lot of people are saying. When you're saying, I'm afraid of doing this and that because of the pushback from the general public or pushback from my staff, it's fear of rejection. We all have this. We all I opened my restaurant. I thought, again, I opened my restaurant. People are going to just line up out the door. They're going to just throw money at me and they're going to, sing praises to me. It did not happen like that. You got to understand that you have to walk to your own beat, your own drummer. And hashtag write this down. People don't owe you appreciation, honor, respect. You earn those things from being an outstanding person. And even if you are rejected, and we've all been through those relationships where relationships didn't work and we felt maybe we were rejected or pushed away. It's not a reflection of you. It's just, it wasn't the right thing for you at that time. There's a lot of times in restaurants we've done this stuff. We've done stuff and we felt like we were rejected or pushed away, or or we try a new marketing campaign or we try a new dish and it didn't go over well. That's just trial and error. It's just trial and error. Sometimes those things don't work out. It's not the end all be all of your life. It's just a reflection of what's going on at that time. Don't let rejection hurt you. I mean, it hurts, but don't let it hold you down and keep you immobilized from taking action. Someone's probably hurt you in the past. We've all been there. I've been there. Happens to all of us. We've all had our hearts broken. It's just another step in your personal development journey. That's all it is. The thing I want you to do is just remember again, hashtag write this down. You choose to shape your life. You choose to grow. You choose to become better. No matter who rejects you at this point in time, it doesn't really matter, because you are not going to be the same person a week from now. You're not going to be the same person a month from now. You're definitely not going to be the same person a year from now, because you're on a journey of personal growth and development. You're making yourself better, which is in end is going to make your restaurant better. Remember that all restaurants become better when the people in them become better people. Stop living your life based on what maybe haters or naysayers say. Start living your life based on the decisions that you want to become what you want to become, based on who you want to serve, what you want to give, what you want to contribute. That's change. Fear of regret. This is the third one. This is the third fear that people have, is the fear of regret. Oh my gosh, regret. It's terrible, right? In society today, you hear that FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Regret. Oh, if I do this thing, I might regret it. I always regret my decisions. There's a lot of self-talk that goes into our heads. What if I get rid of this person? Will I regret it? What if I take that item off the menu that's really popular but doesn't make me any money? Are people going to be mad? Am I going to regret this decision? One of the things I wanted to say when you're having this thing about regret is, again, watch the words you say. And we talked about that in the H3, emotions, words. Do you use the word always? Do you always quantify stuff as always or never? It always happens to me. It never works out. I'm never lucky. I always make a mistake. I always do this. Stop the totality of always and never. That's a terrible parameter. You're not going to ever get anywhere. People always think that the grass is greener on the other side. One of my philosophies has always been this: the grass is not green on the other side. It's just basically grass. You just gotta water it. So just water your own grass. Don't worry about regret. Don't worry about going backwards. Don't worry about not growing. I would be more afraid of being the same person I am today a year from now. That terrifies me. I don't want to be the same person. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to become better. Kaizen is one of my core values I live by. Constant, never-ending improvement. When you develop and when you adopt what's known as a learning mindset, regret goes away. Now, does that mean that you're always going to get things right? No, of course not. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get things wrong. But don't live with regret. The fear of regret holds you back from making decisions. If you've done something that you regret, come to peace with it. And how do you come to peace with it? A couple simple ways. Number one, apologize to people for things you might have done. Say you're sorry. Acknowledge your part in doing something that you regret. And the second part is forgive yourself. Okay? This is a huge one. Compassion starts with self-compassion. Forgive yourself. You know, at that time, I was a different person. Now, I'm saying don't make excuses for your behavior, but recognize that who you were back then is not who you are now. And what you need to do is, based on where you are today, you need to forgive yourself so you can move on. And then sometimes what I do is I use a third-party kind of question analogy. So let's say I'm having troubles letting go of something. What I a lot of times, and I still have the same business coach that I've had since 2009. A lot of times, if I can't talk to my coach, a lot of times I would frame it in the sense I would ask myself the question, what would Drayton, that's my coach's name, what would Drayton say? Or what would Drayton ask? Because I've known him for so long, I just know what he'd say. What question would he ask me? Or what would he say? What would you do, Donald, if you were, if this was the future Donald? Sometimes when I take it out of my own kind of thing and I put it in someone else's words, I don't know why, but the words just seem to come to me. The more you ask yourself better questions, the more you ask yourself, how would you best handle this? You're going to start ending up creating better behaviors and better synapses in your brain. So if you're dealing with any kind of fear of regret, here's my kind of prescription. Acknowledge it, release it, develop a learning mindset, and then just know down in your heart that you're going to do better. And when you do better, you're going to become better. Stop letting regret stop you from making decisions. Regret is deadly. And the last one, it's kind of a weird one. But I've seen it kind of manifest in a couple of my clients lately. And that one is this: the fear of responsibility. It's a huge one too. I know it sounds really weird, fear of responsibility, but a lot of people are kind of actually scared of taking more on. You know, if I have more success, if I have another location, if I have, this and that in my life, if I have more people, it's more responsibility. I won't be able to handle it. They have the fear that it's too big for them, or worse, they have the fear that they're not good enough, or I won't be able to deal with it all. This is where anxiety comes in. This fear leads to anxiety. Fear of responsibility is actually, again, it's that forward thinking that, remember what's an acronym for fear? False emotions appearing real. When I start thinking about fear of responsibility, you're starting to get overwhelmed by all the possibilities of what could happen. So what happens is they don't take that step. They back out, they back down, or they just want to hold on to what they have. This is where a lot of restaurants, I know some restaurants want to scale and they want to do multiple locations, but a year from now, they still have the one location. Even though when I talk to them, oh yeah, I'm looking at property, I'm looking at this, but they don't ever pull the trigger. Fear of responsibility is what's holding them back. The question you want to ask yourself is, do you want to live life where you are right now, or do you want to be able to grow, give, and serve more? Give back to more people in your community. Give back more to your family. To do more requires you to become more. How do you want to serve? How do you want to grow? How do you want to develop yourself? These 4 fears are the biggest things holding you back. And I can tell you right now, I've had them all. I've lived through all of them, and I'm still here. So, Nietzsche had a quote, that which is that kills us makes us stronger. Fear is just one of those things you're going to experience. Fear just needs to be recognized. Remember, it's a defense mechanism. It's there to protect you. It's there to help you be safe. Recognize fear, acknowledge it, and then just remind fear that, you know what, I appreciate what you're doing, but I got this. It's no problem. Piece of cake. So remember your homework this week for the Restaurant Coach Nation. Number 1, I want you to set some alarms for nudges. We go back to the head, heart, and hands. Remember H3? Head part was your state, your energy level. Ask yourself throughout the day a couple times, what's my energy level? Where am I on a scale from 1 to 10? What do I need? What could I do to take it to the next level? That's part 1. Part 2 is start an emotional journal. And I want you to write down the emotions that you feel on a week, on a regular basis. Because I'm telling you right now, the quality of your life and your restaurant depends on the emotional states that you live in, whatever your emotional home is. If you're angry, you know what? That's fine. Write it down so we can deal with it. But you got to be aware of it, because if you're not aware of it, we can't do anything about it. It's just like this subliminal kind of subvert programming running in the back of your head that you're never going to know that's going on. And if we want to change your output, we have to change your input. To change your input, we have to be aware of what's going on and what programming you're running. Most people, I would say 95% of people watching this, you have some outdated programming in your brain that you need upgraded. It's like you're basically, your brain computer still running Windows XP. And I don't know if you know a lot about computers, but Windows XP is an old, outdated software system that doesn't run pretty much anything anymore. But there you are. You got Windows XP in your head and you need to upgrade. We all need to upgrade. That's what that's what the Restaurant Coach Nation's about, is upgrading your thought process and becoming a better person. And that's why you're here. And speaking of that kind of stuff, I want to give a couple announcements here towards the end. One of the things I want everyone to remember is I do have I'm just announcing this now. I have a workshop. It's going to be a 10-day challenge, actually. It's going to be a 10-day restaurant marketing power challenge, 10 days straight. It starts July. I'll put up a little slide here They're going to start July 19th. Message me for details because it's basically going to be invite only. Can't buy a seat. You have to get an invite from me. And it's going to be a private Facebook group. You'll get access to the private Facebook group every day. Here's the thing. Don't sign up for the challenge unless you're ready to have a challenge. What I mean by a challenge is that every day we have a training for 10 days straight. There's a training session every day, and then you're going to have homework. And you have to do the homework before the next day. And I will start kicking people out if they don't do the homework. This is a challenge. That means it's an active participating workshop. 10 days. I'm going to take you through the basically 9 different little modules, one each day, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to take you through the ideal guest, the perfect message, the positioning paradox, the social media matchmaker, the 13 emotions of marketing, the content machine, the rave review formula, the soapbox method, what I teach, and then the superfan theory. It's going to be excellent. It's going to be awesome. 10 full days packed. If you want to get in, just message me, and I'll be more than happy to send you the details for that. And then also, too, letting everyone know, I know I live in Scottsdale. It's a little hot right now. Starting in September, we're back to having our 2-day restaurant owner boot camp. I'm going to be holding it a live 2-day intensive workshop. Again, it's invite only. Scottsdale, Arizona. You can either do it 2 ways. You can either message me, or if you really want to get crazy, you can text message me, and I will send you a direct. In fact, I'll put in, if you want to direct text message me, let me write this in, text me at, the number is 505-393-4750. Okay, if you want in, text me 505-393-4750. I will make sure you get the application for the Restaurant Owner Bootcamp. Also, if you want the 10-day marketing challenge, power challenge, it starts July 19th. You can either message me on Facebook, email me directly, download at the Restaurant Coach, or text me at 505-393-4750. Either way, I'll make sure I get your information in, and I will send you an application for whatever program you want to get into. Either the Restaurant Owner Bootcamp, which starts back in September, or the 10-day marketing power challenge, which is going to start up July 19th. I want to say, everyone have a fantastic 4th of July. I appreciate you being here today. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being committed to learning, to investing in yourself. It's just, time to learn, to become better, makes you better. Remember, restaurants become better when the people in them become better people. And it all starts with you. So thanks for being here today. Have a happy 4th. Be safe out there. And please make sure to constantly aim for outstanding. That's the only way you're ever going to get the restaurant in life you want.